G'day legends and welcome back to Max Power Cardboard Collectibles. Hope you're all out here living your best life, and we've got a pretty big video for you today. Look, unless you've been living under a rock for the past few days, I'm sure you know that Select put out a video announcing that Optimum 2022 is on the way. So as we do, we're going to have a look at all the relevant info surrounding that. We're going to check out some inserts, we're going to check out the checklist, and yeah, I'm just going to give some of my thoughts on what I think of the set as a whole. Don't forget, guys, if you're liking the content, don't be shy. Smash that big red button. And tell me what you think about this Optimum business in the comments. I always find it's great to, hear what other collectors think about a new set when it's coming in. So, again, don't be shy on that. All the links to the social media accounts will be downstairs in the description as usual, as well as a link to the Select checklist page. So if you want to play along at home, you can do that. What else we got? Oh yeah, hey, big news. We got another trading card and memorabilia day going on down at Ballers Sports Bar on October 16th. That'll be running from 10 till 4. I believe that's a Sunday. So yeah, look, if you're in the Perth metro area, come on down. It's going to be great. We've got, look, plenty of stalls from people at the Nerd Palace. We've got Perth Card Grading, Collector Chicks. We've got Lily's Arena for all your Pokemon TCG needs. And I'll be there too. So, yeah, look, if that sounds like something you're interested, get on down. There'll be plenty of cool cards and sealed stock for sale from myself and all the other vendors. So, yeah, come on down. It's going to be good fun. Okay, that is probably enough bullshit for me today. Let's get stuck straight into it. All right, guys, so we've got our checklist up here, as you can see, and what we'll do, we'll just go through this sort of card by card, insert by insert, and then we'll scroll down and get into some of the player representation stuff for some of those bigger cards. What we're going to do, we're going to start up here with the base, and look, first thoughts on the base for me is I actually think it's pretty meh, to be honest. I actually think last year's Optimum base was way better. It had that really nice kind of, like, sort of flame pattern in the team colors running down the side, and I don't know, like, I get it. It's just the base. No one's really here for that, but yeah, I do think they did a much better job of those last year. Moving on now, we got the Optimum Plus and Optimum Plus Parallel. They're back just like last year with a couple of small changes in design and other things. The Optimum Plus subset is being numbered to 450, which is 1 in every 2 packs, which is 12 per box. A bit different from last year. Last year it was numbered to 455. I'm assuming they've just dropped that number down a little bit to make way for, obviously it was a bigger draft class this year, so there's a few more rookies and DPSs to get into with that. But look, design-wise, I really like what they've done with the backgrounds here. I think it's, just a lot less dead space in the card itself, and I think they look pretty fancy. So, yeah, same old stuff from those. Moving on to the Plus Parallel that we've got over here. These have the same numbering as last year, being numbered to 115 per card, and have a hit rate of 1 in every 8 packs. So, look, I actually think these ones also look way better than last year's as well. I really like the sort of oval frame thing that they've got going on here instead of just the straight line one that they had last year. I think these will look really cool in hand. I'm assuming this gray in the background here is going to be like the reflector paneling like it was last year. And again, you can sort of see in around here, there's a lot less dead space with a sort of a, a nice little backing pattern to all the stuff in there. Yeah, I think they're going to look great in hand. So, obviously, I'll be trying to get my full team set of those. So, yeah, like, once you've gone through your boxes, if you're lucky, you should end up with 12 Optimum Plus and 3 Optimum Plus Parallels from every box. We're going to skip over these ones for now. We're going to come back to those shortly, and we're going to move on to the All-Australian inserts and the All-Australian metal cards. All right, next we're going to get into the All-Australian and the All-Australian metal cards. So, the All-Australian team cards here are numbered to 195, and they are found 1 in every 48 packs. So, 1 in every 2nd box, and it is a 22-card set, 1 for every player on the All-Australian team. Pretty self-explanatory there. The metal cards here, they're numbered to 80 and are all 1 in every 5 boxes. So 1 in every 120 packs. So you should hit 2 and a bit of those per case. Not that everyone can buy cases, I know, but it's just a good way to sort of think about it. Now, look, I'm a big fan of the way they've done this with the tiered All-Australian model that they've gone for. I like that there's a sort of another layer of collectability and recognition for the players who make the All-Australian team. Look, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the standard All-Australian cards here. I actually reckon they look pretty average. Look, I was going to say that I thought the Freo ones would look really cool with all that purple in there, but then I went back and checked the checklist, and I realized that there's actually no Freo players in the All-Australian team from last year. So that's a bit of a shame, because I reckon they look really cool on all this purple here with the purple All-Australian, and you could just imagine an Andy Brayshaw or something and all that extra purple. I think they'd look really good. But look, on the whole, not my favorite insert set from this set at all. But what I do like is these All-Australian medal cards. I think these look really great. I think they sort of have a bit of similarity to Brilliance in the layout. Sort of, you know, obviously they're not going to be as nice and they're not going to be as thick and as a premium sort of card as the Brilliance were. But I reckon if you swap the design over here to have the you know, the close-up frame down here in the corner and then the action shot sort of enlarged over the card, it would look pretty similar to the setup of Brilliance. But look, I'll be chasing the Nick Nat All-Australian metal card for that. I reckon they're going to look really nice in hand for these. And yeah, I don't really think you can go wrong with those at all. All right, guys, moving on to the Matrix and Futures inserts. Now, look, these are obviously sort of almost direct replacements for specialists and headliners. So, look, as you can see, obviously visually, the Matrix down here, that is a pretty much just a headliners in portrait mode. And the Futures kind of replaces the specialist insert cards from last year. But what they've actually done, they've done a bit of a sneaky one here, and they've actually swapped the numbering around. So the Futures are numbered to 95, just like the headliners were. And the Matrixes down here, they are numbered to 80, like the specialists were. They are both found 1 in every 24 packs, so obviously both guaranteed box hits. Look, personally, I'm not a huge fan of either of these designs. Look, the Futures might look a little bit nicer in the flesh here with all that grey. I think that could look quite cool. And I do like the idea how they seem to be focusing on the players aged 23 years and under. But yeah, look, not my favourites. And the Matrix, well, look, for me, much like the Matrix reboot film from this year, I just don't see the point. The headliners were a great design, and you know, I think it's a bit of a, if it's not broken, don't fix it kind of thing with this. There's a lot of empty space here. I know the headliners last year filled that empty space with like that fingerprint pattern that they had going on. Again, look, maybe they'd look better if they had that sort of filling up all this dead space around the player's face there. But look, I think they've missed the mark on these a little bit. I'm not going to be chasing these too hard. I think there's much better stuff in this release to get excited about before we're getting excited about a portrait mode headliner or the Futures inserts there. So look, what we're going to do, we're going to move back up here. We're going to wait for that to get in focus. There we are. We're going to move on to everyone's favorite, probably the thing everyone's going to be chasing and talking about, which is this year's DPS series. Look, not a lot to say about these if you were here for Optimum last year. Like, you know the drill. You know what's going on there. We got the Coppers numbered to 170, which is 1 in every 20 packets. So guaranteed box hit for the Coppers. You might even get 2 if you're lucky, or you know, maybe even unlucky in the way you sort of look at that. We got the Golds that are numbered to 90. They're 1 in every 38 packs, so sort of every box and a half should have a gold in it. And then we got the big boys. We got the Platinums that are numbered to 40, 1 in every 86 packs. So that's 1 in every 3.5 sort of ish boxes. So they're going to be hard to find. Look, I guess we'll address the big one first. That the thing that obviously the big talking point here is the Nick Dacos Platinum and sort of what that lands at price-wise upon release. For me, I think it is $2.5 grand. Straight out the box, $2.5 grand. I think that'll be a huge card. Obviously, we've spoken about it in other videos. And look, I think we could probably do a whole video alone on this card. But I think the conversations have kind of been had already, you know, whether that be in the forums or other people's videos. So I'm going to move on from that one. I just think I've just picked a couple of like underrated guys that could be buy low targets early. Both based in Western Australia. So, because that's, look, to be honest, that's most of the footy that I watch. So, look, there's a couple there who I think will be good buys straight out, which might come into the market pretty underpriced. The first one of those is Matt Johnson from Freo. Look, obviously he didn't play a game this year. I think due to injury and just sort of being a bit behind in the pecking order. But look, mark my words, this guy is a jet. Look, I was flabbergasted that West Coast didn't take him with pick 14 last year. I definitely think he's one to look at. I think if Akers goes to Carlton, which has been sort of talked about a lot in the trade period. So, well, in the lead up to the trade period, we haven't quite hit it yet, which is kind of funny to think about. But yeah, look, I think if Akers goes, I think that opens up a wing spot. I think that's definitely somewhere where where Matty Johnson could find himself early next year. And yeah, like I said, the kid's a jet. So I think he's one of those ones, a bit like O'Driscoll in last year. I think I picked up an O'Driscoll Platinum for about $70 before this season started. And yeah, look, I think that that card's going to be going up in value as we get on and he plays more games because the kid is a bona fide star. Look, the next one to look at is from my Eagles, and that is Brady Hoff. You know, I think his season that he had this year has kind of been lost in the fallout from how dog shit West Coast were this year. But look, he played 15 games, averaged 12.5 posies, 5 marks a game out there on the wing. And while he might end up playing a fair bit of waffle footy next season, I think third year breakout is a big one for him in 2024. Looks a serious player for the future. And I think that, like I said, if you pull a platinum of those of him or Matty Johnson or sort of any of these guys who might not have made big waves this year, you know, don't be discouraged. I think that's a really good long-term hold for both of those cards. And yeah, look, obviously, you know, your Horn Francis, your Sam Darcy's, your Dacos, all these guys are going to be, you know, the ones that everyone really goes after hard at the start. But yeah, look, I think if you can get your hands on some of these sort of guys, even a Marcus Windhager, you know, I think he took out St Kilda's best first-year player or something like that at their BNF Awards. So, you know, these are the guys I like to look for, you know, the guys who, you know, aren't going to hit the ground running in terms of like a price point for some of these cards. But, you know, in a few years' time, these guys could be, you know, genuine stars of the competition. So, yeah, look, that's pretty much everything for the DPSs. Like I said, if you were here for Optimum last year, you know what's going on there. So we won't spend any more time on those. We'll be moving right along. All right, guys, coming up next, we have got something that I think the community has been begging for a long time. Puths Finest are back. Look, these are making their return from 2017 certified, but unlike 2017 certified, which was a 9-card set, now everyone gets to go. This is an 18-card set with 1 player per team. Each one of these is numbered to 80 and can be found 1 in every 144 packs, which is 1 in every 6 boxes or 2 per case. Look, these are going to be highly sought after. They are a beautiful design. Like, it's a bit like a scaled up, like a better blank canvas, you know? So if you hadn't seen these before in 2017, maybe go back, check out the list of those ones that they had back in certified back in 2017. But look, these have picked up right where the others have left off. I think they look great. Really beautiful looking cards. And I think, to be honest, I think these will be the most sought after non-sig card in this set. Even though they might not have the rarity of some of the other ones that we'll get into later, or even the All-Australian medal cards, you know, I think these will be the most sort of non-sig insert for me. What we're going to do, we're going to scroll down. We're going to have a cheeky look at the player representation here. Where are we? Down here. So yeah, look, we got Ben Keys from Adelaide. We got Hugh McGluggoat from the Brisbane Lions. You know, off to a pretty good start. But then we move into Sam Walsh. So, you know, that's a nice small one for the Carlton collectors that are going to be having to dish out for one of those. We got Jack Chris from Collingwood. Not bad there. Had a pretty good year. Darcy Parish, always sought after by Bombers fans. Freo fans get another really great Andy Brayshaw card. Geelong, Jeremy Cameron, I think that's his second big Geelong card for the year after Brilliance. Another great one for the Giants with Toby Green. We got Took Miller for the Gold Coast Suns. James Sicily at the Hawks. Larry for the Demons, so these names aren't getting any smaller. We got Nick Larkey down there at the Kangaroos. So, yeah, all 25 of their members should be able to pick up one of those. We got Connor Rosey down there at Port. We got Trent Cotchin, another big one for Richmond. Max King for St Kilda, that's huge. We got Buddy, doesn't get much bigger than that, down at the Swans. We got Flying Ryan for the Eagles, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm a big Flying fan, even though we didn't have a great this year. I'll be trying to get my hands on him for sure. And then we've got Aaron Norton from the Doggies. So, yeah, some pretty big names in there for footy finals, which is what you want to see from your big cards, you know. Like I said, I'll be looking to lock away that Flying Ryan into my PC nice and early. But, yes, look, some beautiful cards there with some really big names on them. So, yeah, look, really looking forward to getting into some of those. All right, after that, we're just going to skip past the mirrors for a minute. We'll get back into those later, and we're going to move on to the medal cards over here. Obviously, you can see this guy here with the Bont on it. So, this is a 5-card set. Obviously, we've got the Brownlow medal, the Coleman medal, the Norm Smith, the Rising Star, and the Lee Matthews Trophy for the Players Association or Coaches Association MVP. I can never remember what that's actually for, but look, these are crazy. These are super rare. So each one of these is numbered to 50, so there's only 250 of them in total. They found one in every 840 packs, so that is one in 35 boxes or one in every 3 and a bit cases. Now, look, for me, while these are super rare hits, I think the designs here stink. To be honest, I think they're really lacking. Like the rarity makes them special, but I just don't think there's anything about this design here that really makes these special. They don't look special to me in any way. They kind of look like a Footy Stars insert. But that's why, like, even though I think they're rarer, I do think that I think Footy's Finest are going to age much better than these cards. Also, look, they're not a SIG, so as I said, like the Footy Finest inserts to me will be the biggest non-SIG inserts and the biggest chase of this set. Look, like I said, for team collectors, there's a lot of teams that don't have to worry about these, but look, if you do want to get your hands on them, I think they're going to be pretty hard to find, obviously, in boxes, but I don't think their price is going to reflect their rarity that much for me. What I will compare these to is I think they're a lot like the All-Australian cards in last year's Optimum, where, you know, like I said, their value won't really represent their rarity, mainly just because the design isn't that good. I mean, I saw a post on Good Vibes maybe a week ago where someone was selling a Brad Shepherd All-Australian card numbered to, I think what were they, numbered to like 75 or something, but for $5. Now, I'm upset because I missed it. There was about 4 people who all posted within 2 minutes, and you know, props to the guy who picked up that card. But yeah, look, I just don't think these are that fantastic. But what we will do, we'll move on next to, we'll get into the big dogs. That's right, the big dogs. So yeah, guys, look, last but by absolutely no means least, we have the Optimum Mirror SIGs and Dual SIGs. Now, obviously, the first thing here is that the individual mirror cards now come with a signature as well, which is amazing. Look, I'll be honest, personally, I'm a little bit dirty because I have the 2021 Optimum Mirror Ben Cousins 01, and I tell you, mate, if that had a signature on it too, I would be much happy. Well, much happier, but look, this isn't about me, so we'll just leave that there. Look, these are amazing. These look great, man. Look at that blue finish. They look so much better than last year's with that sort of horrible shade of orange. Like I said, being able to pick up one of these with the SIG on it is just going to be great. And even if they didn't have a SIG on it, I'd be so much more pumped on these than last year's Optimum Mirrors. Like I said, they're you know, like I said, I wasn't really a huge fan of that orange color that they use in there, but the blue, especially with these West Coast ones, and we'll go into player representation a little bit later, but yeah, man, I just think these look amazing. So the Mirror SIGs, as you can see there, numbered to 50, one in every 120 packets, which is 1 in 6 boxes, 2 per case. And the Mirror Dual SIGs are also numbered to 50, and they are found in 1 in every 240 packs, or 1 in every 10 boxes, or 1 or 2, if you're very lucky, per case. Again, I said it before, I'll say it again, no one can buy cases, but it's just a good way to think, you know, if you're buying 4 boxes out of a case of 12, then you can sort of get a bit of an idea of what you can sort of expect to maybe hit from that. So look, I guess one thing to talk about, especially with the dual SIGs with these, is that, look, hopefully Selective sort of taken some measures with these to ensure they don't sort of damage as easy as last year's were. I know last year's had a lot of problems with like the back sort of chipping and, you know, just having some general damage to the cards done in general. Look, from what I hear, Select are pretty good at listening to the community. I think they monitor, you know, the bigger sort of trade pages and forums and stuff. So, look, I'm sure it'll all be fine. Like I said, these look great, and I think, you know, like I said, Select should do what I think they're gonna do. That's a roundabout way of saying it, but yeah, I'm sure after all the comments that were made about last year's and how damaged they were, I'm sure we're gonna be okay with this year's. And they look better again. Like I said, the blue over the orange, way better. What we will do, we'll go down here. We'll go down and check out some player representation down the bottom here. Man, there's some huge ones in here. There's some ones I'm pretty excited about. We'll start at the top with the Adelaide Crows. We got Rory Sloane and Tyson Edwards. Pretty good one there. Then we got Charlie Cameron and Justin Leppich, which to me is a huge one for Brisbane. Speaking of huge, we got Adam Chera and Chris Judd for Carlton. And then let's just move on to this next one. Jamie Oliver and Nathan Buckley. Like, I don't think it gets much bigger than that for Collingwood fans. That's a great lineup. Moving on to Essendon, we got Michael Hurley and Matthew Lloyd, another big one there. Nat Fyfe and Ben Allen, so dual Brownlow medalist and inaugural captain there for the Dockers. I think the Dockers fans will get around that pretty hard. Tom Stewart and Corey Enright's a pretty good one for the Cats. Then we got bit of a weird one for mine with Jesse Hogan and Heath Shaw, both players who started at other clubs, but are now playing at GWS, obviously. Another big one for the Suns. We got Benny Ainsworth and Gary Ablett Jr. That'll be a great one to get around. For Hawks, again, doesn't get much bigger than this. Jack Gunston and Jason Dunstall, the Chief, the all-time greatest leading goal kickers in history. Moving on to Melbourne, we got CP5, Christian Petracca, and David Schwartz. Another big one there. For North, we got Jack Zeeble and Adam Simpson, which is kind of cool. I think if I pull an Adam Simpson single sig, I'll definitely keep that one for the West Coast collection. Moving on to Port, we got Boak and Franco, not bad there. Prestia and Deledio, another great one for Richmond. But then listen to this. Let's just take a moment to think about this for a second for the Saints. We got Jack Steele and the G-Train. That's another one. If I get a G-Train mirror sig, I'm keeping that. There's no way I'm going to try and trade that for anything. So yeah, we got a great lineup there for the Saints. Then for the Sydney, we got Dane Rampy and Jude Bolton. That one's pretty great. Obviously for the West Coast one, probably hard to top last year's. I think it's going to be pretty hard to top Cousins and Nick Nat. But I think Jack Darling and Glenn Jakovic is a great pairing there. I'm kind of hoping that the Jack Darling stank is kind of still around there. So, the value of these doesn't go through the roof. And then the last one for the Western Bulldogs, another massive one. We got Bailey Smith and Brad Johnson. Now, I know Doggies fans are going to be super excited about that. So, yeah, man, that's just huge. That's just huge. We got some massive cards in there, some big chasers. Really hope that I can get my hands on a couple of those. Like I said, there's a few single sigs that aren't West Coast cards that I'd like for my collection. But yeah, oh my God, some of these look great. So look, we've had a look at that. We're going to finish off there for the player representation and looking at the checklist. And yeah, what we'll do, we'll just go through a few closing thoughts and yeah, see what, just sort of close it out with a few little key points, I guess. All right, guys, let's catch our breath a little bit from that. Look, first of all, I mean, my first thoughts from that is like, there is a lot of cards here. Like, I kind of feel a little bit sorry for Team Master Set collectors because it is a huge chase. Let's just sort of go through what your average Team Master Set collector is going to have to go through to get all their cards. They're going to have to collect 12 commons, 9 Optimum Plus and rookies, 9 Optimum Plus parallels and rookies, 4 futures, 6 matrix, 1 to 4 DPSs, both are all in copper, gold, and platinum. So that's sort of up to 12 cards there. 1 to 5 All Australians plus the 1 to 5 All Australian medal cards. We got 1 Footy's Finest, 2 Mirror Sigs, a Dual Sig, and to cap it all off, you might have to get 1 or 2 medal cards as well. Huge stuff. Huge stuff. So, yeah, look, tough one for Master Set collectors. Like I said earlier, I'm only going to be targeting certain sets. For me, I want my commons, my Optimum Plus parallels. I want my Footy Finest, my Nick Nat AA medal, 2 Mirror Sigs and a Jewel. I'm not asking for much, right? So I'm pretty much just leaving the normal All Australians, the futures, and the matrixes. They're not for me. Like, if I pull them, don't get me wrong, I'll keep them, but they're definitely not a big chase thing for me. Look, in terms of, like, I know we sort of went through it as we went, but, like, the case breakdown for every sort of 12 boxes, because just that's how they ship, or that's just sort of how they work out their allotment and stuff. We'll do it. I've done a little bit of quick maths, which, look, full disclaimer, could be very wrong, but I think in every 12 cases, every 12 boxes, sorry, should contain 3 SIGs, which I'm assuming will be 2 mirrors and a jewel, 3 platinum DPS, 2 Footy's Finest, and 2 All-Australian cards, as well as every third case having a medal card in that. So, look, if you're in your SCC, if you're an SCC member, and you're getting your full allotment of 4 boxes, you should have a pretty good chance of hitting some pretty big cards there. So, if you're pulling if you're pulling 4 out of the 12 boxes in a case, you should end up with a couple of those big cards and hitting some pretty good stuff. Look, I think the set itself on the whole is great. Look, a couple of designs I'm not personally stoked on, but, you know, like I said, I think they've essentially ruined headliners. But look, they've made up for it with some crazy stuff. Like I said, the Mirror Sigs and the Footy Finest Puths Finest, I think, are a great insert set. I think even the All-Australian medals are something I'm really looking forward to seeing in the flesh. I think at 325 bucks, you can't really go wrong. Like, there's huge value here, you know? Like, the fact that there's going to be some absolute whales in this set as well as just like the normal stuff. Like I said, if you're lucky enough to hit that day cost platinum, or, you know, some of these really big cards, you know, some of the, you know, a Collingwood Jewel Sig. I mean, I haven't really seen what's going on with breaks at the moment, but I feel like the Collingwood slot in breaks is going to be the first to sell every time, if it's a pick your team break, obviously. But yeah, I think you know, there's some really, you know, even from an investment point of view, like there's a really big opportunities to make some pretty big money here if that's sort of what you're into. You know me, I'm more about collecting. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to trade away some of these big cards if I get them. I'll be happy to keep them in my collection, but you know me, I focus on my West Coast stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it for like the card by card stuff and what I think of the set. Again, I think it's going to be huge. It's going to sell out in an instant. You guys know the drill. We'll get into sort of like, I guess, the really important stuff. I mean, in terms of sales, look, if you're an SCC member, you have got until 4 p.m. on Friday, the 23rd of this month, which is, I think, next Friday. No, this Friday coming. So what is it? It's Tuesday today. Yep, this Friday coming to get your boxes. So look, if you haven't done that and you're an SCC member, get on that. Tumbling over my words a bit today, aren't I? General sale. Here's probably the big important one. This is going to be on Sunday, the 25th. 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, or 3 p.m. for us over here in the West. 2-box limit per person for general sale and SCC. So again, if you're an SCC member, you can get a full allotment of 4 boxes, 2 boxes for everyone else. And I tell you what, how good's SCC been this year? Honest to God, I think it's the best $100 I've ever spent. Look, never fear. If you are not an SCC member, you will have your chance to get in on that when they do the, you know, new submissions next year. So, look, guys, look, that's probably going to be it for me today. I'm really pumped about this one. Good luck to everyone getting your boxes on sale date. Look, I know it's always a bit of a nightmare and there's always a lot of anxieties about missing out and stuff like that. But look, there always are people that miss out, and I really hope that you guys aren't one of them. And look, next time we see each other, I guess we will be opening Optimum. I can't wait, legends. I'm really excited for it. So, you know, thanks for tuning in again, guys. It's been a pleasure to be here. Don't forget, obviously, Ballers Trade Card and Memorabilia Day going on October 16th. Get around that if you're interested. And, oh yeah, do the subscribe thing. All right, guys, see you next time. It's been real.